Aston Villa never dared to dream this big. But when will Unai Emery finally accept that talking about the Premier League title is no longer a fantasy? The victory over West Ham extends Unai Emery's squad to a 6-game winning streak in the Premier League, keeping them firmly in the title race. They sit just 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal, having won 10 of their last 11 top-flight matches. In fact, they have earned more points than any other team since September 28. Despite being the favourites, Aston Villa endured a nightmare start in the capital, as the atmosphere at the London Stadium turned electric from the very first whistle. Before kickoff, the stands were united in a touching tribute to West Ham legend Billy Bonds. That emotion quickly transformed into raw energy for the hosts. Just 29 seconds after the opening whistle, West Ham opened the scoring, netting the fastest goal of the Premier League season so far. This strike eclipsed the previous record held by Hugo Ekitike during Liverpool's clash with Brighton at Anfield, where the Frenchman scored after just 46 seconds last Saturday. West Ham aren't exactly known for keeping clean sheets, but in this instance, they can feel somewhat unfortunate to have conceded the equalizer. Just 9 minutes later, under immense pressure from Ollie Watkins in the box, Konstantinos Mavropanos was forced to stoop for a clearance. But disaster struck. Instead of clearing the danger, his header inadvertently flew straight into his own net, leaving goalkeeper Alphonse Areola helpless. The tension continued to mount, and another defensive lapse cost Aston Villa dearly. Ezri Konsa was slow to push up, ruining the offside trap and keeping Jared Bowen onside. Seizing the moment, Bowen deftly redirected a shot from outside the box by Freddie Potts. It was a tidy sequence that ensured West Ham deservedly went into the break with the lead. Remarkably, despite entering the match in the bottom three and facing the league's most informed side since late September, West Ham displayed immense discipline in the first half. They stifled Aston Villa so effectively that the visitors' expected goals remained at a flat 0 throughout the first 45 minutes. However, that advantage didn't last long. It took the visitors just 5 minutes after the restart to find an equalizer. Showcasing the resilience and attacking threat of Unai Emery's side, Youri Tielemans sparked the move with a burst of pace down the right. From his cross, Morgan Rogers controlled the ball, spun neatly in the box, and fired home a decisive finish in one motion. In a game full of emotion and pace, Bowen thought he had put West Ham ahead again, but the offside flag cut the celebrations short. In this battle of English talent, it was Rogers who shone brightest, netting the winner 11 minutes later. West Ham will regret dropping too deep, essentially inviting Rogers to unleash a long-range strike from 25 meters. The midfielder didn't miss his chance, executing a perfect dipping shot that deceived Areola. It secured a thrilling 3-2 victory for Aston Villa, keeping them hot on Arsenal's heels in the title race. This victory marks a historic milestone for Aston Villa. For the first time in the Premier League era, they have achieved a 6-match winning streak in the top flight. This achievement reflects the soaring form and incredible consistency of Unai Emery's squad. If we expand the picture to all competitions, it becomes even more impressive. The Villains have won 9 consecutive games, a streak the club hasn't replicated in over 100 years of existence. This is truly a golden era at Villa Park. Conversely, despite signs of improvement, West Ham cannot escape their precarious position. The East London side remains in the Premier League's relegation zone, even though this was only their second defeat in the last 7 rounds. Aston Villa's performance quickly earned high praise from pundits, including Sky Sports' Jamie Carragher. The former Liverpool defender believes the Claret and Blue have positioned themselves perfectly for a Champions League spot. He noted that the longer they stay in the mix with Arsenal and Man City, the more credible their title challenge becomes. While Carragher doubts they will win the league, he emphasized Emery's brilliance, stating that in the current Premier League, only Pep Guardiola ranks higher than him. For his part, Unai Emery remained satisfied yet grounded. He shared, "We didn't start well, going behind twice, but the team's reaction and how we secured the 3 points today is the clearest image of Aston Villa right now. It is about ambition, responsibility, and tactical organization." Emery stressed that the process, tactics, defense, attack, and creating chances matters just as much as the result. The Spanish strategist reserved special praise for Morgan Rogers, the game changer. He highlighted Rogers' immense commitment, relentless spirit, and rapid maturity, driven by both physical fitness and a strong mental game. Analytically, Aston Villa are becoming the Premier League's most baffling team, constantly defying expected goals models. Sky Sports' Lewis Jones summed it up perfectly. The stats might say no, but the action on the pitch screams yes. Between theory and reality, Aston Villa chooses results. The 3-2 thriller against West Ham is just another chapter where Emery's army seems to actively challenge the mathematical models. While the algorithms try to find an explanation, Aston Villa simply marches forward with incredible efficiency. The numbers paint a clear paradox. Villa have scored 25 goals in the Premier League, while their total suggests they should have only scored 17.06. Even against West Ham, they lost the battle, 0.62 vs 1.04, but won the war. Morgan Rogers' unstoppable strike wasn't just a winner. It marked Villa's 10th goal from outside the box this season, 3 more than any other team in the league. By nature, expected goals models are always conservative, even allergic to long-range shots. And in most cases, that skepticism is well-founded. Many attempts from outside the box often end up flying over the bar, going wide, or becoming harmless clearances. However, Aston Villa are not taking these shots with a hit-and-hope mindset. They strike with preparation, technical quality, conviction, and a very high level of execution. What makes Villa's opponents truly uncomfortable is this. This is not a fluke. Unai Emery's team is consistently outperforming XG models thanks to intelligent shot selection, confident mentality, and clinical finishing. Many are still patiently waiting for a regression to the mean, the moment when Villa returns to what the stats predict. Yet, looking at the Premier League table, a completely different story is being told. Aston Villa are turning that seemingly irrational anomaly into a sustained trend. Looking at Villa right now, who would have raised their hand at the start of the season? When Aston Villa went 6 games without a win, did you think they would be sitting third in the table as Christmas approaches? It is truly an incredible transformation. Although Unai Emery always tries to keep expectations grounded, the question for Aston Villa now is no longer whether they deserve to be part of the conversation, but when they will dare to believe in themselves. Amidst a Premier League accustomed to the usual dominant names, Villa are forging their own path. Perhaps the title is still a long journey away. Perhaps no one dares to define their ultimate ceiling yet. But as winter arrives and Aston Villa remains there among the leaders, this story is clearly nowhere near its end.